I saved this for last on purpose. I had to. Shout out to my boy Samir, man. AFC West. Let's get to it. We starting with the Raiders tonight, man. And I know my pops don't want to hear this because he a fan of them. But the Raiders getting last in a division. It's not all doom and gloom, though. Let me say this. That now they have hired Clint Kubiak from Seattle, the OC from Seattle, who has a lot of familiarity with Kirk Cousins here from their time in Minnesota. So I kind of think Kirk arm is shot, but I do think he gonna play most of, if not the whole season, while Mendoza get ready to take over the team next season. But I want to see how this team performs. They went out and spent a lot of money on the O-line and went and got Linderbaum from Baltimore, signed to the highest paid contract in for a center in history, $27 million a year. You still got Brock Bowers, who probably the best in the league at tight end, and you got Janty. So them your building blocks. Mendoza, Janty, and Bowers. I don't know about this receiver room. I don't like it. I don't really like it at all. I do like Jalen Naylor from Minnesota, but he going to be kind of thrust into a role as a one, by de facto one, and he not good enough to do that. Getting down to the defense, let me see. There's a lot of money spent on this defense. I think this defense headed in the right direction if they gel well together. You got the Max Crosby trade obviously didn't go through for whatever reason. You went and signed the Kobe Dean, Kwity Paye from Indy, Quay Walker from the Packers. So a lot of good players here. I don't know about this secondary. The jury's still out there, but I like the direction this team is headed in. And let's get to the big. Oh, Kuntz should be back from this season, so I like him too. But let's get to the big dogs of the division, man. Let's not waste no time here. Let's not waste no time. This is what y'all here for, right? I got the Chargers and the Chiefs tied with the same record this year. I'll start with the Chiefs here. Now, you got the return of Mahomes off this knee injury, off this ACL injury. We'll see how effective he is. Contrary to popular belief, I do think there's been a little bit of slip in his play the last few years, but I don't think it's to the extreme one way or the other. I do still think he is a top, if not the top quarterback in the league. I think that has to be, somebody has to take that from him, somebody has to prove it. But if you revoke that spot for him due to the injury and the poor compared to his standards play, I'm not mad at that. Let's get to the rest of this team. The O-line on paper looks okay. By name, you got two of the best that they position in Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey. And, I mean, Creed Humphrey got the accolades to prove that. Josh Simmons looked good for most of the season last year. The rest of this group, though, I don't know. You got this Jalen Moore guy from that you paid money for out of free agency last year. I don't know if he's ready to be right tackle for the whole season. They say he's not looking good at camp, but you got to take them camp stories with a grain of salt. It's a lot of turnover on this team. A lot of guys gone from last year. McDuffie, Hollywood Brown, Watson. So both corners, the safety is gone. Chanel is gone. So, but then you bring in the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker. So he's a good back, and I think he should help Andy Reid simplify his offense a little bit. Andy Reid, one of them guys that like to do what he does, man. Like, he don't deviate from what he do, but at the same time, he was always like forward thinking. Andy Reid never got passed up by like the trends or by the way the league was going. So I'm waiting to see if Andy Reid get back on his square. I guess your concern with this team is offensively is the receivers, right? Can these receivers stay healthy and can they produce and get open? Tyquan Thornton was all right as a deep threat. Rashee Rice, can he stay out of jail? Worthy, can he stay on the field? And Cyrus Allen, is what you expecting of him out of a rookie. I know this is the last year for Kelsey probably, so I don't know. The offense, we'll wait and see, but I think if they play well, it could come together there. The defense, I don't know. I'm tripping. I like some of the young talent they brought in on defense. Delane, even though they're saying he's hurt, I don't know what his status is right now, but I like R. Mason Thomas. Peter Woods is gonna be nice. He gonna be nice next to Chris Jones. Oh my God. But it's gonna be interesting to see how they replace these corners. But I don't think they was like It wasn't like Revis and Cromartie out there last year. I didn't think they played as well as they did 2 years ago, or as well as McDuffie played 2 years ago. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I think if they get off to a good start, their first 4 games are Broncos, Colts, Dolphins, and Las Vegas. So if they can go 3-1 there and get off to a good start, you giving yourself a chance. But I got the Chiefs improving off last season, but I don't know yet. We'll see. I think this team might have the most pressure of any team in the NFL here to finally at least like win a few playoff games. Not even saying contender, but they gotta go on a run here, man. And I don't know if they have all the horses to do it, but you getting both tackles back, 2 elite players in Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. Okay, so you needed both of them back. I give Justin Herbert credit for the way he fought through it last year. He broke his arm and was missing both tackles and other O linemen, but his performance the last 2 years in the playoff is unacceptable. I'm sorry, and you bringing in Mike McDaniel, so that should help him out. They should be more explosive on offense. The receiving core, you going Trey Harris, Ladd, and Quentin Johnston. So we'll see how they produce as a trio. Gadsden looked really good in spurts last year as a tight end, and he brought in Njoku. So we'll see what Mike McDaniel's scheme looked like as an OC after being a head coach for the last few years. I want to see if this team can go on a run. And I want to see if this team can go on a run. Amarion Hampton, year 2, him and Keaton Mitchell together. What can they do as a duo here? Let's see. My shit just zoomed in for some reason. Defensively, you lose your coach and mentor. So we'll see what the new coach, new DC O'Leary. I think he was in college last year, but he coached under mentor 2 years ago when they was in Baltimore. My understanding there. And you got some players on this defense that I like. Tui Talupo, the edge rusher. I love him. Obviously, Derwin James, elite player, been elite player for years. Cam Hart, I rock with him. Khalil Mack, 1 more year. Messidor, you got him first round. So it's all about the pass rush should be a strength for this team, but can this team go on a run? Can they string together some wins here in the playoffs and make themselves a contender? I don't think they've won a playoff game since 2018, so it's time to break through that glass ceiling, per se. Finally, we're gonna get to the team I got going back to back in the division. I'm picking the Broncos here. Looking through this team, it's hard to pick a whole bunch of flaws together. You getting Bo Nix back from his injury, broken leg or broken ankle in the playoff game. You can say they probably would have won the AFC if he played against the Patriots. I'm not mad if you say that. Maybe you're right. I thought Sean Payton, I thought he coached that game like a jackass. I'm going to be honest with you. The game was very winnable, and obviously they missed some kicks, but I thought he just, being up 7-0 in the red zone, and the Patriots can't move the ball, and you go for it on 4th down instead of just going up 10 in the snow, it didn't make any sense. But this team, the O-line is elite. They've put together a few elite seasons. You traded for in a row here. You traded for Jalen Waddle, so finally the pressure's off Courtland Sutton to beat a 1. Now you got Jalen Waddle, who can really fits into Bo Nix' strengths as a QB. I think that tight end is a weak spot for the team. Evan Ingram hasn't really produced for them, but this defense is all pros everywhere here. Nick Bonito, Pat Surtain, Zach Allen has 15.5 sacks the last 2 years playing 3 technique. This is a really good team, man. Riley Moss, can he stop getting picked on? Can he improve his play here in year 4? And McMillan is a good slot corner for them. But I like this team, and I think they have a chance to be a favorite. I'm not going to say the favorite, but a favorite in the AFC. This is the order I picked these teams to finish in this division. I don't know if the Broncos can sustain the late game excellence that they had last year for the most part. So I could see it going a few other ways. The Chargers gotta break through here. I don't know. I like their team, but they gotta break through. The Chiefs, I like the young players they have that they brought in, but I didn't like their free agency. And then the Raiders, they on the come up, but we gotta see what Mendoza gonna do next year. But I appreciate y'all watching. We're gonna keep this going. We're on to the NFC tomorrow. But I appreciate y'all. Let's keep it rolling. Hit me in the comment section. Salute.